This is the Levels Network. I am Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason OG.
Yeah, man.
A little bit.
Bit low. Bit Jamin low.
A bit Jamin. Is
You
that low? Do I feel low? That feels better. I'm back.
Feels normal.
And the Roosters are back. The Sharkies are back. That's all right. We don't have to start again. Lukey gets to just relax. We're a podcast. I know. But our audience knows we're a bit willy-nilly sometimes. We're all right. The Roosters looked really good on the weekend, mate. The finals, I guess we always had the tiers set out all year. I felt like I've said it for at least 2 months, and you'd agree on most of them. For a while there, we struggled to put Melbourne in the same tier as Penrith. Then 5-6 weeks ago, when Melbourne went to Penrith and beat them, we put them in the same tier together. Yeah. We always had Roosters in the second tier. We always worried about their record against Penrith and Melbourne. Yeah. That's the only reason, because on paper, the championship qualities as coaching players, we never worried about that. We had your Bulldogs in a tier with the Sharks. The Bulldogs go out first week, and we were always worried about the inconsistencies of Manly and Cowboys, and that come to fruition on the weekend, didn't it?
It did, you were spot on all year. The top four, it's sort of, they're top four for a reason. Now they're all in the prelim together. So this is going to be a hard week. This is always the hardest game of all, is just getting in that grand final. Imagine knowing that, you beat the, like when Cronulla won, who are we playing next week? Penrith. Fucking how good do we have to be to play those guys and beat those guys down, it's going to be out there? No, it's not.
No, it'll be the core.
That sucks.
Yeah,
a lot different out there.
Their record at a core is just as good as anywhere else.
I don't care where they play, but then you got to go down, beat Melbourne in Melbourne. Roosters, that's hard. They can't do that, and they're going to be throwing all these things up. It's going to be a mental thing.
They can't do it?
Yeah, they can't do it. That's what they're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
And the Roosters, you got to flip that around somehow and galvanise and just get down there and just complete different attitude. But you're playing Melbourne in Melbourne. They've had a week off.
I love the way the system is.
I love it too.
It rewards consistency.
Yes.
It rewards the better teams. It rewards a big week one performance, therefore giving you the opportunity to rest, and then therefore gives us the best possible opportunity to see the best two teams in the grand final.
And that's what's usually happened.
Yeah.
The best two teams this year have been Penrith and Melbourne, and I think they're probably going to go through.
Yeah.
I don't see many. I can't see them beating these guys. We'll break those games down on Thursday, but I'm like, I just look at them sitting there just going,
Is there anything in the next couple of days, do you think, that can persuade you? I guess the big one, Cronulla were really good against the Cowboys, but
they were beatable.
A lot of people.
Cowboys left a lot of points on the field.
They were coming.
But a lot in that first 12 minutes when they had some opportunities to put a try in, they just that last pass, the execution let them down, holding on to the ball.
The Sharks had a couple in the start of the second half too that that was, the little knock on from, I think it was Griffin Neame gets on, or Sione Katoa. I thought that was going to be a try. So there was a couple of Sharks opportunities where they could have kicked away as well.
Yeah, but you look at the first 10 minutes where I think the Cowboys had all the run of the green. Like they had him. Like Cronulla looked rattled.
But credit to Cronulla.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They're just a gritty team. They believe in their system, and they just need to get back on their feet. That's what they don't really fault. But but North Queensland, they could have been up 10-0. It's a whole different story. And then they get a little bit of momentum, and it's like 12-0 their way. Penalty try. What the fuck is that?
Let's leave it to that. I want to dissect that in full. We're sort of breaking down the game. Let's have a little break, and then we'll debrief, and then we'll come back in and we'll attack it. This one is from Jono NZ. Can I please have a beer with you one time, Mace? Cheers, mate.
Where are you? Come on, son.
So, Jono, Mace will be at the AFL Grand Final this weekend. Buy a ticket, go watch Brisbane Lions versus Sydney Swans, run into Mace, buy him a beer.
Yeah, done.
We have a schooner with that. Jono, if he goes to the Grand Final.
Come and find me. Good luck.
Want to thank Jono and everyone else who has subscribed. All our subscribers, we thank you so much. Lukey loves it when we get the thumbs up. This is our biggest show. Everyone loves the review, talking about the games from the weekend. We've got some big stories as well. Reece Walsh It looks like he has agreed. We'll get to that the details of that.
That's good news.
We're nearly at 30K, guys, 29.1K. We're nearly at 50K for Instagram, 45.9. And Mace's TikTok gang, 74.5. Let's get that to 80. There you go. Thank you to everyone who has left us a review on Apple and Spotify. I say it every week because it helps us grow. And we would have to be the fastest growing podcast in the world.
Easy.
Way more than Rogan. Craig. Way more than, who else is CEOs of a diary? Who else? Who's that? Hawk Tour. We're faster growing than the Hawk Tour girl.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's getting
not alive.
I like
relevant.
Her.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Haley Welsh. Yeah, she's got a bit of slang about her.
Yeah, that voice, mate. That's what gets her.
Yeah. By the way, we've got something cool that we're going to be doing for our partners at the Tab today. So straight after the podcast, you're probably going to be seeing us in this kit. We're doing a lot of on-screen, some acting, some clips, but we're going to be reliving the grand final for you, mate.
Yeah, man.
20 years on.
20 years. Wow.
Heading over to Belmore.
Belmore.
The Leagues Club.
Beautiful. Reminisce.
All right, mate. Let's get to our performers of the week. And whenever we do that, we represent BSC. And by the way,
what about
if you didn't see Terry Torres in action over the weekend, if your acting name is Terry Torres, what's mine?
I fucking don't know. I watched it once and I was just like, get away from me. Things we do for a body science energy drink.
Yeah, well, you can find it at 7-Eleven and you can find Terry Torres and Benicio Del Horo. There you go.
That's awesome.
That's the name.
That is it.
That's the name.
Benicio. I love that.
Some top tier acting. I tell you who wasn't acting on the weekend. He was acting up.
Yeah.
And your BSC dog of the week found at 7-Eleven is BSC's very own.
BSC's very own, yeah. James Teddy Tedesco. What a performance, man. Like, he's had a fucking great year. Forget about the origin and all this kind of bullshit when when Dylan Edwards took his spot. Mate, he's had statistically probably his best year. It's probably nearly a Dally M year, be equivalent to that.
He'd be thereabouts.
20 touches, 183 metres, 2 line breaks, 3 line break assists, 2 try assists, 2 tries. Come on, Teddy.
250 games. Well done.
250 games as well. What an effort.
52, by the way.
Well done. Yes, we do that.
I don't celebrate 51-50, but I celebrate 2.
Yeah, we do that. We do that on this show. The touches, and that's 20. I think he probably would have handled the ball a lot more than 20 times. That was way better. So he had about they're elite stats. They're elite stats for a big game player, and he's going to have to do that again against his nemesis team, the Storm, because we need another. They need that.
Yep.
We'll break that game down a little bit more with their forwards and everything like that. But like Teddy was on fire. Like he exposed their middle so much. But just his leadership, man, the way he attacks the ball, it feels like it's not as clunky. Right? You know what I mean? Like when the Roosters are sort of everything's, when Sam Walker's in the team and you got Radley and this and that, like it just Sanders Smith just plays his role there. You got Keary doing his thing, and Teddy just doing his thing.
That's
feels smooth.
Point. Remember last year we were super critical of the team because it felt like there was too many trying to do too much. Yeah. So for those who missed it, we got Teddy who loves carrying the ball through the middle. You had Luke Keary and Sam Walker who were the halves at the time. You got Cheese, who's a better ball runner than he is a distributor. You had Victor Radley playing through the middle, who loves to play with the ball. And then there were Roosters fans just screaming for Joey Manu to get involved more. Yeah. So with the hand injury to Joey Manu recently, he looks like he is... I still don't think he's at his full fitness with that hand.
He's close.
But he's getting there.
If it's his right hand, he's fine because he flicked that ball to Dom Young.
Yeah, that was
finger
nice.
roll.
And
it was an Andrew Gaze finger roll.
It was disrespectful.
It was. It was so disrespectful.
But it was disrespectful because it was like, here you go, man.
Have that, Dom.
Have that.
Dom Young.
Victor Radley's obviously got the shoulder injury, the scap, so he's not ball playing as much as he used to, and he got moved to the edge.
Can't hit a hole. Thank you, Teddy. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
That was Teddy's try, one of Teddy's 2 try assists. You got Brendan Smith. He's no longer there. Connor Watson. Yeah, he's a ball runner as well, but he's probably going to pass a little bit more. Yep. And obviously Sammy Walker's not there. So Sandon Smith is not the guy who's going to go over and go, give me the ball. Therefore allows Teddy to play the way he did. And you mentioned the origin bit, and I don't think you should really disregard it in this sense. It's a silver lining for
That's
Teddy
what I know. I know. There's some like that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
He would have taken a while for him to go.
He'd be devastated.
Devastated. And he's just like, I put all my energy front load into like just playing week in, week out for the Roosters. Probably get another 5 years out of his career.
Yeah.
Origin, he's played Origin at the highest level for like 7 years now.
Would he would still be next in line. So if something did happen to Dylan Edwards, I don't think Teddy's Origin career is over. But for this year specifically,
and we'll go through the test team as well. So
yes, and we'll get to the
career's
test
not
team.
over.
Yep.
He's a captain of that. But anyway, what a performance. That's my BSC dog of the week.
That is a really good one. And when I come in this morning, I said to you, I had two options.
Yeah.
I could go either way. Whoever you're going to pick, I was
Same.
going to pick the opposite. So my BSC dog of the week is Braden Trindle. Tricky.
Yeah, well done.
I want to give him his props, not only for this game. So 2 tries, 1 try assist, 1 line break with 20 kicks for 635 metres. So not only did he do the highlight plays, he controlled it all.
He did everything.
He did everything. He allowed all the pressure that had been associated with Nico this week to just get him back into some sort of flow. You talked about Nico obviously carrying injuries. It allowed just everyone, the start that he had and the way he attacked the game to begin with, it got him to such a good lead, they could sort of just get in a rhythm as a team. So not only just Nico, but specifically Braden Trindle. And you know when people always talk about, the ball just bounces for him? I don't believe that shit.
The best players make it happen, mate.
The best players make it happen. And Tricky goes after every single one of those plays.
Competes.
We'll break down specifically the penalty try. I want to get to that. The ball where he competes after Ronaldo taps it back, gets on
beautiful.
there, finds Cam McInnes. Nice little bit of deceiving footwork from Cam McInnes to get that down as well. But the one that stands out even more is on the right-hand side, he gets it from Jesse Ramian as well. He just kept on moving.
Yeah.
He just wants to be in the picture. He just wanted the game. Every single one of the Cowboys players dipped their toes into that game. And even some Sharks players, Braden Trindle didn't. He was a dog, and there was evidence of this. We can go back and watch the film. At the start of the year, we're watching the Indigenous game, Mace, and I went, everyone knows, everyone thinks I'm a Sharks hater. I had my concerns over the Sharks at the start of the year.
And so you should.
I felt like my prediction was in trouble really early, and it was the Indigenous game. Once I seen Nico and Braden Trindle specifically connecting, and I know it's sort of like an exhibition game, and it's like probably like a boosted trial because I know both teams go hard.
Yeah.
But there's been evidence of players playing well in that game and then going on and having big seasons all the way back to, I reckon, Cheese's best year. 2020 or 2021.
It helps.
Remember when he broke his jaw or broke, and he scored 2 tries? Like players have gone out of that game and had really big seasons. Jack Howarth.
Yeah.
He hadn't played any first grade this year. He played really well in that game, has gone on to have a good season. So it shows.
It boosts your confidence, man.
You can show what a really good start to the season in a game like that that's more meaningful than a trial can do for your season. Because Braden Trindle, I reckon he set the tone in that game, had a really good 10-week block, had the off-field misdemeanor, had some time off, got himself sorted. And then since he's been back in, he has been...
Nico needed him.
Yeah, for sure.
Nico needed him. The Sharks needed him because they know what sort of talent he's got.
Yeah,
he's been here, and when Moylan was there, they didn't know where to fit Trindle in. They knew he was coming up and ascending. What position is he? What do we do with Nico? They know what they're doing now.
You say this all the time, iron sharpens iron. Yeah. And my one pushback on that has always been, I don't like iron sharpens iron when it's in the halves. Yeah, that's the only position.
No. We had that with Brent Sherwin and Braithen Astor.
Yes, true.
Someone goes the other way, it's fucking blowing up.
Yep.
They both want the ball. They both want the big plays. And it worked out because we were winning a lot of games, but because you get really competitive in the halves.
Someone has to adjust.
And they did. They did. But there'd be some games where Braith's just a fiery bastard, you know what I mean? He just fires up. And then show him shit, but Shifty is a little bit more...
Yeah.
Fucking, he'd usually come up with the right play.
Yeah, and more recently too, it's when Munster got back and Jerome was playing so well, Munster's had to adjust his game, and then we just talked about what happened at the Roosters, right? Yep. Someone had to adjust their game. Luke Keary did it at the Roosters.
Keary's the big dog.
To accommodate for Sam Walker. And
now it's
not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy. But now, I think Nico played the perfect game. Usually Batman and Robin, he played Robin.
Yep.
Right? And he probably needs to play like that again this week. He's not going to come up with the big plays.
Yep.
You know,
He's
he
gotta
did
play
some
as
really
well.
beautiful kicks. He needs to work on his defense a little bit better because they're going to try and expose him on that edge.
I love that he got in kick chase.
Yeah, that's all. They're the little things that fits you when you nail all those little things that you can control.
Yeah.
Right. We don't expect you to go in there, burn, going down short sides and shit like that when he was a Dally-M play because he's a bit busted.
Yep.
So played the perfect game.
Braden Trindle, outstanding.
Yeah, Trindle.
He had almost this. You know, when you get high praise, I seen Joey talking about it on the Footy Show. Or maybe post game on 9, and he said he almost had a perfect 10 out of 10.
It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, half.
9 out of 10. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the replies. This one's from NW. Who should be New South Wales fullback? Scope, Drinkwater. Who should be in the Australian team? Fullback, Scope, Drinkwater. Who stood out this year? Scope, Drinkwater and the Cowboys.
You're a fan of Drinky, but everyone is, but he's not at that level.
No, so it's not necessarily about Drinky. He's
taking the piss.
He's taking the piss out of me talking about Drinkwater and his form. I would say this is the most critical I've been to Drinkwater this year.
Yeah.
And the reason it is because Drinkwater is as talented as a player, a fullback in the game right now, but he needs to take that next step. There are a couple of moments he would love back for, and then I don't want to come down on Drinky too much here because they're eliminated now. But the talent that I see from Drinky is a big reason why I feel like this Cowboys team is right on the edge, and they're so close, and he's still developing. Drinky, right?
How
He comes
old
through
is
them.
Drinky?
I would say Drinky's mid to late 20s.
25, 26.
I'd say close to 27,
Yeah, okay.
28.
Yeah.
He spent a bit of time in the Melbourne system as well,
Okay.
remember?
Lukey, can you find that out, please? I thought he was like 24.
But I find this one weird too because I was like, I feel like I've been super critical of Drinky.
I
this
think
year.
you have been as well.
Not super critical. Gave him
No.
plenty of
I think everyone's a big fan of Drinky because you see the talent.
Yep.
You see the talent. But then you see the games on the weekend, you're like, you need him to play his best footy. He needed to
27.
play. He needed to play like Tedesco. He needed Tedesco effort. And that's what the greats do.
I don't think he's a Tedesco type of player. I think he had to play like a Kalen role where Kalen the week before, because this is why I guess I brought it up because I thought Drinky played really well against Kalen. Kalen was a 10 out of 10. I reckon Drinky was about an 8 out of 10 in that game as well. But sometimes when it's not happening for Kalen and he's not pulling, coming up with the big plays, he's got that running game. Drinky just needs to develop that running game and then also kick diffusion. That's a big problem with Drinky. He's got to sort that out. He's got to go after the ball. He's got to be more aggressive. It might be a communication thing, but there are a couple of balls that hit the deck that led to second bounces, that led to tries, and that's one thing he's got to improve in to take his game to the next level because I do think he is capable of pushing a guy like Dylan Edwards on talent alone for the jersey, but he's got to fix up all those other little bits of his game. This one's from Dosh Mosh. Hey, boys, love the podcast. I'm so intrigued to see what your answers are for this. Who do you see as the alpha male in the last 4 teams? Up, Cronulla. All right, let's start with the big dogs because this is going to be easier to get the big dogs, in my opinion. Who is the alpha for Penrith?
Fish.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Why?
Because his presence.
Yeah.
His presence and the way that he moves and the way that he talks, you can tell that he's the guy in that team.
Yeah.
They look at him and him and Leota, but Leota just he just listens and he's an actions man.
I reckon Moses
is up. He's pretty much equivalent, but I think Fish is more vocal.
Moses would be anyone else's alpha in the top 4.
I think Leota's about that business.
Yeah.
He gets out there, sets the tone, but Fish is more of the he'd get him going.
Did you see? So Fish played his 200th or 250 the other week.
200, mate.
I think it was maybe 200. And Panthers do the jersey celebrations, and
some
that,
of the best, though.
Mate, they're so good. They give you. I think it feels like Penrith were the first to do that, and the insight. And Moses Leota and Zane Tedavano got up and spoke on behalf of Fish. And you could see how emotional they got, even just getting up. And even Moses talked about the presence and the big brother that Fish
that's
was.
what he's been. And that's why I think he's the alpha there. With Melbourne.
Melbourne, who's your alpha?
Well, when Big Nelson's on there, he's the dude.
Right?
He has to be.
Yep.
He carries that energy, right? No one can fuck with Nas when he's on. That's what I'm expecting that, like Hargraves.
Yep.
He's the pick for the Roosters, right? But him and Nasty, they've got to go at it. And I think Big Nas will, I know Hargraves goes at everything, but when Big Nasty's going at it, how do you deal with a person who's that big, strong, and powerful? Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
And Hargraves is going to go at him. Don't worry about that. He's going to get him somewhere.
They'll find a way to collide.
This, like, if he's just there, has a 10-metre run-up or off a kick-off, it's going to be awful to watch. It's going to be awful to watch because both of them won't stop.
Did you see a couple of weeks ago when, it was not last weekend, when Big Nasty got in a bit of a tangle with Toby Rudolph, and Toby Rudolph gave him a little bit of a slap in the face and a little bit of a massage, and Big Nasty for me, that's a sign of an alpha as well. Yeah. When you're able to go like because Nels knows people are going to try to wind him up.
Yeah.
They know he's had in the past. He's lost his marbles a couple of times, and Jared's capable of it as well.
And they've watched him in the ring and in Bali.
Yep.
So fuck that.
Yep.
But you can push his buttons on the field because you can't. There's no repercussions. So you can't get a punch in the head.
Yep.
Which is fine, but he's going to get you somewhere.
I thought he showed really good restraint.
He does. He does show that. He does. And he's a big body. Him and Hargraves are going to go at it, and Lindsay Collins and Spencer Leniu. It's going to be big. And they need to. Nasty needs to lead the way down there, and they all need to follow. You got Kamikamithi, you got Welsh, you got Liero, you got the two boys on they're big boys. Don't sleep on Melbourne. Josh
King's the toiler.
Yep, but everyone else, they got a bunch of alphas down there, bro.
All right, pick an alpha from Roosters then.
It's a big J-Dub and Leniu. But J-Dub is it. Yeah, he's the guy. Look what he did on the weekend. Look what he set. Look at the tone that he set.
Yeah.
Kohler, respect you, bro, but pick your battles. Get your front rollers in front of you.
Yeah.
I love backs. They try and get in there, but not first hit up, not against that guy there. He's known to put you out.
You know what I reckon?
Put people out for fun. Do you think that's not a fluke?
He's a repeat offender.
No, but you're running in there. He sees where your feet are set. He had perfect technique.
Yeah.
That's just a 110-kilo machine versus a 90-kilo whippet.
Yeah.
Right? That's bang. It's just collision. It's physics.
You know what? I reckon Manly would have watched the Cronulla game and the Cowboys go on. Cowboys dipped their toes in and they tried to start with energy and it cost them.
Mm.
And they went way too hard. They lost all their technique. And I love it from Kohler, but you're right.
I love it.
He sprinted in front of Carl Lawton.
No, just let the big boys do it.
You know when
you need to be 100 kilo plus to try and take Hargraves on.
Yeah.
And with good technique. Kohler had good technique. He was in there the right way.
Just slipped a little bit late.
Slipped a little bit late.
Jared's got underrated swerve ability at the last minute.
Get you
Jared always lined I felt like Jared would line you up and eye you out and then get to the person on your right or your left.
That's what you do when you're a big guy because that guy's set and this guy's not.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a crease in the line.
They think they're going to come and get you.
Yeah, or the guy who steps out in front like that, you're stepping into him because it's not a fluke. I've taken 1,000 kickoffs. You know exactly what's going on there. Yeah. Like, you silly. Like, if he rushes out, bang, you tip your shoulder in him.
It's almost
he's getting it.
It's almost the reverse bluff. You got to go at the guy that thinks he's trying to get you, right?
Yeah, and he's rushing. Then you just a little bit of late footwork, and it's just sometimes you get belted. Sometimes usually the guy inflicting the pain, especially with him. It's only a little change. If you want to step in front of him, you're copping elbows and chest and shoulders, man.
James Fisher-Harris, Alpha Penrith. Nelson Asafa Mona, Alpha for Melbourne. Jared Herrera Hargraves for the Roosters, and the Cronulla Sharks Alpha is?
I think it's Kafusi. I think Kafusi's been their best.
I would go, so it's a harder one. I would say and this one's more of an effort thing, I think it's Britton Nikora.
Yeah, I just think he's on it. I think he'd be the leader in that team. But because he can't dictate terms in the middle because he's on the edge, I'm not going to put him in there because the alphas are in the middle.
Yeah.
And I just think Kafusi's been that guy. I think he's been their best prop all year, the most consistent.
Yep. They've had a mixed bag, haven't they?
Yeah, but
they've all played
there's been one
games.
Person who's had the 10 on his back all year.
Yeah.
It's been him. So I think he's their guy. They've got some really big boys there. I like Hamalueli. I like Royce Hunt. But they don't play big enough minutes. Yeah. Kafusi's on there for a fair while. The Dolph does a good job. I think he was outstanding on the weekend. I thought it was one of his best games.
Yep.
Royce Hunt's got that power. But I think Kafusi, they don't scream alphas, right?
Yeah.
They're not.
That's sort of what they're missing, right?
They're not. Yeah, they're not like. I just ripped through all those other three teams. I could have easily named 3 or 4.
Adam Rock's up next year. He's their alpha.
For sure.
Straight off the bat.
Yeah. Straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So I just think They've got a few there. You know, McInnes, he tries to be. Like, give him another 10 kilo, he would flog everyone.
Yeah.
He's their little spiritual leader. But, like, you know, Kaufusi needs to own that.
Yeah. Was Dale Finucane in it before he retired?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He was their guy that they looked at.
Yeah. He's there.
He's a little bit busted as well,
pack,
you know.
yeah.
Like, he was like that guy down in Melbourne. They loved him.
Which one? He was down
when he was in Melbourne, when he was in his prime there. I was just like,
everyone
everyone loved Finucane because he just fucking go hard.
All right. I feel like 3 out of those 4 really stood out. The Cronulla one was a little bit harder.
No, I don't know the Cronulla one. I don't want to disrespect him either.
Yeah, no, it's not disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just thinking if I played against Cronulla now, I'd be like, who am I trying to go at?
Yeah.
I'm going to go at Kaufusi.
Yeah,
because I think he's their main guy.
Okay,
I think because he's setting the standard for him and Dolph. Yep. I think Dolph played his best game on the weekend. But I think Kaufusi's a real quiet, unassuming sort of character. Gets through big minutes, hits hard. You know, he goes after it, man. He goes after it.
All right, pick me an alpha to play with, or that you would identify if these two guys were in the same team between Jared and Fish.
Yeah, fuck. Well, pick those. Pick one of them.
You've got to pick one of them.
Yeah, but one's 35, one's fucking 28.
I'm saying prime Jared, prime Fish.
Jared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love. Yeah, he was good. I remember I was the back end of my career and he was the 2013-14.
Do you think it was because we both played against Jared?
Like
yeah. You played with him. Yeah. You played with him as well.
Yeah. No, I didn't play with him, but like I played against him. But I was just like, he's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Bad boy.
Maybe because we just haven't felt that James
Fish
Harris presence.
I love Fish too. I think I'd love to play with both of them.
Yeah, of course.
Because I know, I'm just thinking, I'm like...
It's one of those ones where you can't be wrong.
I mean, I was blessed to play with some great front rows like Roy Asatasi, Marco Mealy, you know? Just Sonny Bill, Rennie. Jeremy Smith.
Ogre stands out. Like you got gun players there that you named, but Ogre's the one that stands out.
Ogre's the dude.
Yeah.
He's
the alpha.
Yeah, he's a crazy bastard. Petro, Webby, all those guys, man, they were like... When you play in the best teams, like the forward packs like that, you don't give a fuck about anything. You know what I mean? If you go out there, you got that sort of forward, and that's the swag that Penrith have. They don't care. Like they got that pack. When you got Liam Martin, Yowie, and like Fish, and Leota, and even Kenny, you're like, good luck.
Kenny's the one because like if you've got physical front rowers, you do your best to get at a spot hooker.
Yeah, fuck him.
And Mitch Kenny will lick you just as hard as anyone.
He'll hit you. As I told you before, I'm not running at Kenny. I'm not running at Leota.
No.
I'm fucking stepping everyone. I'm probably going to get at Yowie. Because he's 6'4". Yeah. You'd be running at they're the little ones. I'm 6'5", 6'6". But when they're there, they're hitting like...
Yoey's going to hit
me up top,
and they're going to drag you back.
And Fishers are up top as well. Yeah. Leota's a dipper and and Kenny as well. Be like, ooh, yuck. But yeah, the Fish. I love the Fish, but Leota's the guy who hits the hardest in that team.
I probably should have gave you more time for this one. I forgot about this one. This one's from Sam Joyce. Hey boys, I'm 18 and a huge fan of the podcast. Thank you. I've learned so much about the greatest game of all. You often discuss the importance of coaching. And I've always wondered, what's the best pre-game or halftime speech you've ever received? The kind that would make you want to run through a wall, cheers, and up the chooks. Do you have one, or do you want to think about one?
Not really. I don't.
Yeah.
I think
because I've got an example, but it wasn't a halftime or a pre-game speech.
Folksy was very quiet before games.
I've got an example for you. I'll give you my example. We were playing 2013 preliminary final. We'd been absolutely blown off the park in the first 15 minutes against the Rabbitohs. Jamie Lyon was our captain at Manly, never said anything. Like Killer never really got animated at all. He never really got fired up. I remember vividly there would have felt like would have been 60, 70,000 there at that stadium, and it was so loud. I could just hear Killer's voice piercing through, like frustrated at the way we'd started that game. And I remember, like, we ended up going on a run, and I reckon a few people in the team were like, shit, like, Jamie never does that. And that was probably the only time in my career I can remember anything like words that ever mattered.
Yeah. Same. I'm trying to think.
Like pre-game, halftime, like when coaches come in, those halftime sprays from coaches, they don't
waste
do anything.
Time.
They don't do anything.
Nah, they're fucking stupid.
I mean? You're only fearing watching video, understanding that you're embarrassed about your performance. The coach screaming at you at halftime doesn't do shit. The best form of communication at halftime. I mean, I think even Gus has said it before. Like, you've only got 1 or 2 of those a year.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to find the right moment for him. And yeah, it might go, oh fuck, here we go, we've got to get into it. But the best information you can get is calm, is collected. You bring your group in together, you bring your edges in together. You have a chat between yourselves. There's not really like.
There's not. People probably look at Craig Bellamy and they think that he's a psycho like that because they look at him when he's watching the game. Like, yeah, he's intense, but you get there at halftime. He's just assertive in the way that he just delivers his speech, right?
Yep.
He's not hammering you individually. He's not doing anything like that.
Do you reckon? Have you spoke to any of the Melbourne players about
he's
what he's like?
He's
at
pretty
halftime?
constructive.
Yeah, okay.
If you're playing bad and he knows that you can play a lot better, he's going to tell you.
Yeah.
Right? He never put you on show. He doesn't do anything like that. Wayne doesn't do that. Like, all the good coaches don't do that to their players. They know how to get the best out of their players. It'd be an individual little talk. It'd be the team thing, and then it'd be just like, come here.
It's more like park footy stuff. I think you can have halftime speeches and shit.
You see some of those fucking things on Instagram with the AFL guys.
Best.
They're the best.
Best.
Yeah, there hasn't been a moment in my career, I don't reckon, where I've just gone really inspired about what someone was talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just say like a captain or anything like that. I'm like,
not out of disrespect either.
I'm listening, but I'm like, what you're going to say to me before a game is not going to dictate how hard I'm going to go. I'm fucking good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I used to love it when someone would, like a coach or a player would go, give me a little reminder. Hey, remember when we're gonna spot this player up?
Yeah.
I mean, like, be careful. They're going to be attacking your edge. Like little reminders.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you've prepped so hard all week, and you're ready, man. Like, and there was never a game where I wasn't ready before it. I'm the one usually talking a lot before the games as well, right? So there's not real like guys that are fucking coming up with some real inspirational shit because it just doesn't fucking work. Sometimes I think Wayne doesn't say that much. All the coaches that I had, Freddie wouldn't say that much. Like,
you're always nice and relaxed before game.
Yeah,
like I remember I could just picture you just walking around like.
I was very nervous inside, right?
Yeah.
Inside because of expectations of me. I wanted to play, always wanted to be the best player on the field and everything like that. You have high expectations. You want to win. You don't want to. You think about a lot of shit, but then. I was always big on just the moment, right? Just live in the moment. If you're nervous, you're nervous. Get out there and just be aware and just be present.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't think of the outcome.
Yeah.
I can't think, what if we lose? And what if I play shit? And what if I get injured? And what if this shit hasn't happened yet? Let's just go out there and see what happens. And usually when you just run out and you cross that fucking white line, bang. You're fine. It's like, yes, thank fuck. But because you're like, why was I thinking all this shit when I was in there, like bigger games? And I'm like, good. It feels natural out here.
Yeah,
the lights I don't give a fuck about the crowd, the lights, the big game or anything like that. It was fun. That's when it become fun.
Yeah.
Before it, it's like, you can get your own head. You can see how players can get performance anxiety.
You know what I used to like? Now I'm thinking about it, and I always used to write like a couple of little reminders on my wrist, like a chuck, because I used to strap up the wrist and chuck a few reminders. I never ever
looked at it. Never. I would never ever write anything. I'd just strap my wrist because I just wanted fucking grip, right? A lot of players.
I liked it.
I only did it for the grip, but my wrists were fucked.
My wrists are fucked now because of it too. I don't recommend it for any of the players to do it.
But
I used to go just say for instance before a game, I go, carry the ball strong.
You're like, oh shit, just before the ball's there. Oh no.
Good first contact.
Yeah.
Like just shit. Like
I know.
I never get to 20 minutes in the game going, fuck, what do I have to do again?
Yeah, no. You never write anything like that. I was just saying, I would, my problem earlier
One second. What are you saying? It's just got more grip. Yeah, it's just the
and because you sweat so much.
It's the material, and once you sweat, so Lukey asked, why is better grip? Because obviously when you sweat on your arm, the strap intake gives you a little bit more traction.
Something that gives you traction. My biggest problem was like, because I was always super focused in my head, but I'd fuck around a lot, right? But I'd put someone else off their game. My teammate.
Well, that's why I can remember. That's why I was just
like, and I'm like, I was like, then I learned like my influence on the game is like, don't only talk to a certain person. Like like Ogre and I could fuck around the whole time, but like we'd be the ones out there doing the business, right? We're setting standards, we're hitting blokes and everything like that. But I couldn't talk to Shifty like Brent Sherwin. I wouldn't be able to like talk to an outside back like I talk to Ogre and muck around.
You used to muck around with Brett Stewart.
Yeah, because I knew Snake was fucking on, right? We're old. I was 35 years old. I played Origin with Snake. I know, because Snake's got the same mentality.
Yeah, Snake's the
like
same.
You're just going to go out there and play your best. But where I couldn't muck around with a young kid.
Kieran couldn't.
Yeah, like some people just need to be super focused. Yeah, that gets the best out of them. So you learn other people's traits, right? And then I knew Snake Fraser. That's why I could fuck around with Snake and Killer.
Was there
right? And Jamie Lyon. Yeah, because we were on the same wavelength. We're old school. We get out there, we do the business.
What? So who at the Bulldogs? You knew if you sort of like fucked around with them, they'd have a bad game.
Oh, like I wouldn't go like just say we're near young kids like Brad Moran, like Moz. Just say guys that haven't played that many, because Moz would fuck around like me, and then would.
Okay, then
and then he wouldn't play that. I'd be fine. Like I wouldn't really do it. Any of the outside backs.
Yeah.
Like with Tong or anything like that. Matty Utai, Luke Patton.
Yep.
Nah. Forwards like
Rennie, easy.
Ren, not even Ren. No. Be like he needs to focus.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Sonny
needs to focus, but we could sort of, when we talked, it'd be really intense about what we're going to fucking do.
Yeah.
Then me and Ogre would come over and just start laughing about some stupid shit, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then go out there and still deliver. But Ogre was the most intense person you've ever seen, but not to me.
Yeah.
Because he knew that, like, I don't mind mucking around, but I'm super fucking focused.
Okay.
But it was a fine balance with me, right? I'm like, I don't want to fake it and go, oh, yeah, let's go get these guys. Like, come on, let's just fucking, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. All right, that was a good one. It was supposed to be about halftime chats, but we got to pre-game. Nick Pete, I know.
Yeah, it's any fucking thing in like pre-games and that. It just wasn't even nowhere near it.
Yeah, speeches and that, yeah. Like all the preparations done through the week. Nick Peter says, hey, legends, big L1 fan, been here since the start. Question for both you guys. What are your thoughts on the NRL securing a Netflix deal? And every year they follow around the Dally M winner for fans to get an insight into how they work week in and week out. Love your work. Keep it up. Beers on me when you're in Brizzy next. Everyone's trying to have beers with you, mate.
Yes. What is it? What?
So the question is...
What, have we signed a deal with Netflix?
No.
It's potential.
He's just using Netflix as an example. Any of the media companies to sign and do like a... in the NFL... Why is it escaping me? Yeah, the
quarterback.
Man does the
okay,
quarterback.
yeah, and follow. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And the preseason. What's the preseason one? Why is that
Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks is pretty. I think did they try that with the Tigers a couple of years ago?
The Tigers did it. Yeah.
If it's done properly, I think they could. I would love to see fucking Penrith. Something done on Penrith. They've obviously got something out now. Haven't they?
Yeah, they've done a couple.
Yeah. But like, if Netflix did something like that potentially, or Stan or someone like that, everyone would watch that.
Yeah.
Brisbane, I'd like to see how they go. Like
so they've done team stuff, right? Titans, Tigers, and Penrith Panthers have done a couple.
Follow some halves around.
They're talking about a single player or maybe a couple
you know how the quarterbacks, right? That's what I'm saying. Just say, receivers, quarterbacks. So I'd love to see like what Nathan Cleary does, DCE. Like you say, Sean Johnson was still playing, like some real characters and gun players, and how they prepare, and like a month of their life, because that's what it is. They follow the quarterback for their whole year,
whole season, yeah.
So I'd love to see something like that.
Imagine if they followed Kalen around for the
Kalen Pong, like just that'd be perfect. Yeah. Follow the fullbacks around: KP, Dylan Edwards, Teddy, and fucking Walsh.
Walsh, no, you've got to go different levels. So you need a star. You need a star.
They're all stars.
No, but I want different styles. Okay. So I want either Teddy or Dylan Edwards, because I think those two guys have similar styles. I want the star pin-up boys, one of either Kalen or Walshy, and I want
both.
Maybe a lesser name or someone that's ascending. And
Drinkwater.
And could be...
You want Drinky. Tell everyone.
No, Drinky's in the same like Kalen. Tyrell Sloan's a good shout from a team that's struggling in and out. I'm trying to think of maybe a Dream Buller. A Dream Buller would be super entertaining.
I think just with how to sell it to Netflix, if you'd have to throw all those superstars in, man. Yeah. There won't be any levels of like fucking an average guy and then a big one. You want all the big ones.
I found the quarterback one entertaining because it was Mahomes.
Well, they had fucking Garoppolo on there, didn't they?
No, they had Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and then Mariota. And Mariota fucking ended up leaving.
Yeah.
That was more entertaining than Mahomes.
That was nowhere near as good as receivers, but fuck. I want more out of Mahomes. Mahomes' voice sounds like fucking Kermit the Frog. He's so annoying.
Yeah, for me, Mahomes wasn't entertaining.
He wasn't, Kirk Cousins is boring as shit.
Kirk Cousins was better.
But he was better than Mahomes.
And Mariota.
The
Mariota bit was the most entertaining because he just left.
Yeah, who was the other one?
That was it, those three.
Just three.
Yeah, there was those three.
And then the receivers, you had Devontae, you had fucking Jefferson, you had Kings, man.
He not only left
Kittle
the series,
and
he
Debo.
left his team. Like, he just left and went away, and everyone's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, that was... Like, imagine if you had a fullback down the bottom that, like, gets dropped or whatever, and he's, like, playing New South Wales Cup, and you're going through that journey.
Follow him around.
That would be entertaining. That's why Tiger Town was... I found Tiger Town entertaining. I liked it.
I think there's something like that where the NRL should look at it, right? They should look at it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, too much money? There will be, yeah.
Netflix.
Lukey thinks I'll do something.
I think the game's worth too much. There's these players, superstars, these games. Like, you could do all the centers. Imagine Latrell. Imagine, like, all these other players.
Fullbacks.
Fullbacks?
It's fullbacks. 100%. Fullbacks are the star
I like
players.
the centers because they're fucking like divas as well, man.
Well, Latrell's not even a centre.
Tony, in my head, he's a centre.
Okay.
In my head, he's a centre. Him,
In my head, he's a fullback and he's part of my series.
Herbie.
Fucking Latrell would be 100% the biggest draw card. How do we not speak about Latrell?
I'm just saying. I just say if it was Latrell, if you put him fullback, you put him centre, whatever. Latrell would be king.
All right, so name your three. All right, you're doing a series. Go fullbacks.
KP.
Yep.
Latrell.
Yep.
Dylan Edwards. Just because of the fucking, I want to know what's going on out there.
Oh, that'd be good. That would be
I want to know what's going on out there. Fucking,
me look at the team
out in the foot of the mountains out there.
I like where this conversation. I love when we go on little tangents like this. All right, I'm 100% having Kalen.
Lukey's in.
Yeah. Lukey's coming in. Let me get my three. What do you got?
No, remember Caesar's Palace didn't edit at the start of the year for it, and he had KP, Sean Johnson, Jackson Hastings. So
Oh, yes. All right.
Jackson Hastings.
Because it wasn't
Is
necessarily...
that why I didn't get on him?
No, so what Caesar Palace, what he was trying, he compared it. He did what I was talking about, right? So you've got the star, you've got the veteran journeyman and Sean, not journeyman, but the veteran in Sean Johnson with Kirk Cousins. And then in and out of first grade, Mariota and Hastings. That's why he pitched those ones.
Yeah, all right.
It was a good idea. But staying on fullbacks,
Give me your three.
I got your first two. So Kalen and Latrell, I want to follow those two around. And my third one, I don't mind. I don't hate Sloaney.
Yeah.
I don't.
Young kid, would you go young
Keanu
buck?
Kinney.
Keanu
Kinney, my young guy. He's like King.
That's all right.
I'm going Keanu Kinney.
I like that kid.
You like it?
Or the Hammer or someone like that. Ooh, I like the Hammer. Because you know what? You could take him back to like fucking TIs and shit, like islands and his influence on all those people, man.
I think
the TIs are coming through, bro.
Yeah.
It's because of him.
Yeah. There's a few good ones that have gone before him as well.
I'm just saying, when I was speaking to Dean Witters, Dean Witters was up north there, and bro, he goes, the amount of talent up there.
Is Big Dell TI?
I'm not sure. He'd have something there.
Yeah.
The big Cuban. But he goes, the amount of talent that is untouched up there, and they just love Hammer. You know what I mean? Like he goes, but they're all like that.
Is that what the celebration's about too?
They're all like that.
Yeah.
He goes, it's because they're naturally fit, they're cut, they're ripped, they're big, fast, strong, everything.
Yep.
He goes, to the prototype rugby league players. There's going to be some sort, you know how we've gone to Fiji and the islands and all that kind of stuff, you know, and just boom, 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 come over here, schools,
Tonga,
private
Cook
schools.
Islands,
They're going to go start doing that to the TIs. And bringing them over and educate and put them in a good school and then and try and get the footy out of them.
Indigenous boys always been untapped.
He goes, they're built. He goes, great. And Dino's got a pretty good eye for rugby league players. He goes, bro, there's Hammers, like Hammer Tabuai Fidos everywhere.
Hammer So Tabuai Fido. Yeah.
But it's his influence. It's his influence.
The only thing I worry about with Hammer, and the reason I want Keanu Kinney, looks like he's got a bit of swag about him. Hammer is very reserved.
Yeah, I know.
That could be appealing to some, but
I was just saying. I just think, regardless of that, I just think they should really do something on Hammer anyway. Really get him up there and just show the influence that he has on the TI people, because I think that they're coming, man.
Yeah, yeah.
They're built for this game.
Okay, let's go to fullbacks and let's go to. He would be the highest paid fullback or the highest paid Bronco of all time if this is Indeed true. Now, this was reported, I seen it on Channel 9 originally on the Footy Show again. Reece Walsh has reportedly shaken hands on a $5 million contract extension with the Broncos. It's coup for the Broncos to pull it off before the November 1 deadline, which is huge. That would have allowed rival clubs to begin negotiating with Walsh. NRL legend Andrew Johns described the deal as a steal for the Broncos. As first reported by the Courier Mail, Walsh has signed with the Broncos through to the end of 2029. Heading into 25, his perceived tag was around the $600,000 mark.
What?
Well, that's because he had to take less to leave the Warriors for compassionate grounds. Walsh's new deal will be worth up to $4.4 million. So that can't be correct. 1.1. It's 1. No, it is 1.1. Yeah, sorry. Across the final 4 years of the extension, which makes Walsh the highest paid player in the history of the club.
Well deserved. I mean, it's just he's the face of the league. He's a good looking dude. He's marketable, and he can play. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got it all. It's a no-brainer. It'd be so silly if the Broncos even got to near November.
At the moment, you've got the Reece Walsh haters out at the moment because he didn't finish in the fashion that he would like to, come off the
injuries,
back of his series. Was clearly banged up as well. But those same guys are the guys that bash Kalen when Kalen's not playing well. And then they shut up when Kalen plays well. Yeah. It is...
He deserves his money.
Do you think the fullback position, because of everything that's involved with it now, is one of the most, if not, is almost taken over the scrutiny of a 7?
Yeah, that's so important. I think it's probably the most 7-1. Well, important. The spine is most the 1 is. Would it be the top 3 most important position on the field?
Oh, it'd have to be up there.
Has to be.
In terms of involvement, in terms of coming up with big plays, in terms of sorting the defensive line. You think of the guys that get criticised more than anyone. I would say Walshy's been up there this year. He'd probably be the most criticised player. Yeah. Kalen for large portions when he's been injured. Then he goes on runs and everyone shuts up. Yeah. Latrell obviously cops a fair bit. Turbo's copped a fair bit through being injured.
Because it's so on ball, right? You kick it to you and you're fullback and you sit there like that and then you get to attack. Yeah. You get the ball in clear spaces all the time. We just say front rowers, we're getting boom, boom, you're getting smacked. All the middles and that. But when you're a fullback, you're getting the ball nice and early and all that kind of stuff and you can create so much, right? That's why there's scrutiny because we can see what you're doing every time. So when you're not running as hard and if you're making the wrong decisions with the ball, you're doing everything wrong. Everyone they get to scrutinise your position a lot bigger than just say, and especially not a 7. If he's not digging into the line, if he's not doing all these things, we're like, he's bad because you can see it because you know what a good 7 does. Yeah. 6 as well, same as a 9. And that's it. Everyone else you can sort of go, okay, well the centre's playing really bad. Well, he's not getting to the ball. He's only getting play 2s and coming out of yardage because he's not getting the ball because of the 5'8" or halfback's not giving it to him. Or you know what I mean? Like there's things like that. And same as the back rows. You're not getting the ball because the half's not passing it to you. Front rows, you control it because you're getting it off the 9. Yeah. Fullback, you're getting it off the kick all the time. You're touching the ball a heap of times. You're getting a lot of opportunities to do some stuff, right? So when you're not doing that, when you got the ball 30 times a game and you did one thing good, you had a shit game, mate.
I think,
or if you don't make line breaks like Reece Walsh all the time, or Teddy, or this and that, you can really see it, can't you? And the other positions you can hide it a little bit, front row and everything. You're doing 15, 20 hit-ups. You touched the ball 20 times. You must have played good. Did 180 metres.
The bit that you mentioned at the start, they touch the ball more than anyone. But I think when it comes to the last pass before they score tries, a lot of the times it's in the fullback.
Yeah. It's the fullback.
Yeah. So if you don't ice those moments, or you're Walshy and you'd love a couple of passes back this year, right? Or Kalen doesn't come up with the magic pass, or Latrell doesn't. He's not a big yardage guy, so if he doesn't come up with the big play, then they don't win the game.
Yep.
It's because they're, for the most part, I would say almost as important as anyone in icing the final play for tries.
They're always involved in the shape, right?
Yep.
If you're around the back, the nice little pass to end it on a 3-on-2, you got to be everywhere, right? To create that extra man. If you get into a certain part on the post, next minute, bang, you got to be on that left. It's a full-on sprint for that last touch. It's the most classiest position.
Is this the last domino for the Broncos now? Are they set?
No, they're not set.
And
it's great that they got Reece Walsh signed, that's all.
Well, They got Ezra done. They really wanted to get Ezra done. They got him done at the start of the season. Payne Haas lasted forever. They got that done. They also got Paddy Carrigan got done. Is that their big four for the future?
That's it. I'm not sure how long Payne Haas signed.
He's signed for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
I had it up before, but
yeah, I think that's the last one, right?
That's your four, right?
You need to get us. I mean,
you got to win a comp with that four.
Yeah, fuck.
You can build like
Good luck. You can build something.
Yeah.
You just hope to God the Penrith thing just falls over.
Yeah, but also like Penrith have got their core as well, and they
got a kid called Nathan Cleary, man. They don't have a Cleary.
Well, that's
the biggest problem. They don't have a 7, and there's no 7s coming through.
Nathan Cleary wasn't Nathan Cleary when he was 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, who's coming up there? Who's their next boom kid?
It's got to be Reece Walsh and Ezra Mam. That's my point.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying that they need a 7. They don't have a 7.
No, yeah,
But Ezra's a 6.
So in my opinion, they've got their 4 core, and they'll come up with a different version of 7, but they've got their star power locked in, and they're going to prioritise these 4 guys moving forward, and then they tweak around like the roster to accommodate those 4 guys. Selwyn Cobbo and Katoni Staggs.
They got a gun side.
I don't think they're.
I don't think both those guys stay.
No, I think one of them's going to go.
I told Katoni a couple of years. I reckon he looked good in red, white, and blue. He's the only one that I could see moving down here. See that spot, right centre for the Roosters. Looks good. Especially if they offer Selwyn like a 4 or 5 year deal.
Who would you prioritise? I think we've done this before.
We did. I said Selwyn.
Yeah.
He had he ended the year pretty shitty. They both had pretty down years. This time last year, Katoni was picked in. He was a starting centre for the Australian team.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Australia and New Zealand for the halves for the Pacific Cup. So this is another hypothetical.
Brisbane need a half.
This is another hypothetical for you. Some injuries and I guess question marks around the halves because of I think everyone is of the same opinion that Nathan will probably get some surgery or sit out for the Australian team at the end of the year. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but if Nathan was not available, who are your halves for Australia? Daly incumbent with Cam Munster last year. Those 2 heavy favourites?
Yeah. Yep. And I think with Cleary not being out there, if he's not available, DCE, he's done a job. Like, hey, they got flogged last year, 30-0. I get it. But, like, that ain't happening again.
So Mitchy Moses was obviously the half that beat him in this series this year. I believe, I think Mitchy is going to become available. And then I'll throw out another name at you. Tommy Dearden.
Tommy Dearden will be close. He's going to be in their squad, right? I think he is when they name it.
You'd think so.
You would think so. I think, Dearden's a good shout. But Mitch Moses hasn't played since game 3.
Yeah. So what's that?
Where do they? I think he had
would that be 12 weeks?
So long, bro. Like by the time that first test comes, I just don't even think he should be come into calculations.
Just because physically,
and he hasn't. He didn't finish the year off. Like, he's fucking well underdone. Pick a kid who's going through the semi-finals right now, and then see what happens.
What about the argument that Tommy Dearden's played a shitload of footy this year, and then the fatigue factor? Like, you get a fresh Mitch Moses,
bro.
Yeah, well, Mitch
he don't care. Dearden is. You give him that green and gold jersey, bro. He'll go balls.
All right, here's my counter argument to that. Then Mitchie spent a lot of time out. You know what these athletes are like. You know they keep themselves in peak condition. You know he would have been training the entire time. So the counter to that is he's going to be fresher than what Tommy Dearden. And the argument for Tommy Dearden, that applies just to Mitch. Mitch hasn't played for Australia before too. So if he gets the opportunity to represent Australia,
but he's played all year. Dearden played in a full Origin series. Got him into the semis. Played some great football. Like Moses played great in that last game. He'd be way underdone. He wouldn't be fresh. He needs his legs back. You need a whole preseason.
Anyone else? Nico?
No, man. I was like, Nico's not. I don't think I'd go with DCE and Munster just to be safe. Experience and everything. But if they're going to go put someone else in there, put Dearden at 7 if they're worried about DCE.
Those 2 guys would love to right their wrongs from last year too, right?
Of course.
They would have been embarrassed by that.
Embarrassed. Everyone who played in that test.
I didn't speak to them about that because I'm a proud Kiwi and they don't want to talk to me about it.
No. They were trying to forget about that.
I was gliding a little bit too. So.
But I don't think they'll pick Moses. If Moses played all year with with Parramatta played his. I would think, yeah, put him in.
What about New Zealand? So no Kieran Foran, who played 9 from last year too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an option going from 9. Brendan Smith, ACL, he's not available. Jerome Hughes is obviously the standout. He's going deep into the finals. And the other option is Dylan Brown did his ACL. So no Dylan Brown.
Did he do his ACL?
Yeah, in the last game.
Oh, no. Oh, that sucks.
You didn't see that on your KO?
No. that is just devastating for Dylan Brown.
Yeah.
He had a good year.
I don't think, I heard that, I've never heard this before, but I heard that it's not going to require surgery.
Yeah, that's a new...
Yeah, what do you got for us, Lukey?
They're trying to let it heal itself, right?
Yeah, less damage than first thought. But he's definitely not playing. There's no way they'll play him. Parramatta would not let him play. So Dylan Brown's out.
Oh, who's your 6? Who could possibly play 6?
Cody Nikorima.
Yeah, there you go.
Cody Nikorima.
He's had a good year.
Shawnee's name was tossed about, but Shawnee...
He's done.
He turned it down. I don't know if he turned it down, but he said...
Did he play in last year's game?
No, I believe he turned it down last year too.
Well, he's just looking to the future, isn't he?
Yeah. He said on his body that in a clip that I seen that he would consider it if Jerome went down because felt like there's fucking everyone's dropping like flies, and if the country needed him, he's
100%.
You know what I mean? But he said if Jerome's fit, then he would happily he wants to be a part of camp and
what if he thought?
What a swan song if you played for the
Jesus,
Kiwis.
yeah, that'd be nice. You don't want to risk that.
How would Jerome? It'd be cool to see Jerome. I don't know if they've played many games together as a 7 and 6.
No.
Jerome Hughes, and I feel like Shawnee would have played a lot with Kieran.
Yeah, heaps.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting what they do
because they were the 13 combination 2013, and I feel like they would have played a lot of World Cups together.
Yeah, a lot.
Nationals. Kieran had surgery on his foot, so he's out. So
fucking Jerome Hughes, eh?
My man Phoenix Crossland. He was thereabouts last year.
Was he Kiwi?
Yeah, he's Kiwi. I didn't know that until the end of the...
He'd be in the squad somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's going to play 14.
I think so. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice for him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a Kiwi boy.
Anyone else? Who else are we forgetting? Oh, you got the Kiwi boys. So
Who
you
are
got
you picking
Tamati
for the
Martin,
Australian team?
Chanel Harris-Davida. Huh?
Who are you picking for the Australian team?
In what
Who's
position?
your front row?
Oh, front row. It's too hard now.
Lindsay.
I think those pivotal positions because of the injuries
Lindsay
is why...
and Cotter. Here's my pack. Lindsay, Harry...
We'll forget someone.
Ruben.
If we don't do it properly, we'll forget
Liam
someone.
Martin, Crichton, Yo. Or then you have...
Nah, because I'd have Paddy Carrigan in the front row with Yo at lock.
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing players out there. I think Carrigan's going to be there somewhere.
Yeah. Would you do that as well?
Cam Murray.
Because Cam Murray's got a suspension.
Is he out?
So he can serve a suspension if he's picked in the Prime Minister's 13, which Australia are trying to do.
They'll do that. He'd hate to play. He could play against
He was no way he would have played
yeah.
against the Prime Minister's 13.
Oh, he's going to feel that game.
But they're trying to get the seat. They're feeling the pressure. Of playing
Yeah, it's good. No, they have to feel it. It was 30-0 last year. Yeah. The backs, I don't know. Yeah, forwards, I think it'll be all right.
We need to wait until we see who's available. All right, let's get to the games, eh? The Sharks 26 defeat the Cowboys 18. We talked a lot about Braden Trindle, but the Sharks have finally got that hoodoo off their back, mace, and break the finals record no one at the club wanted. Did you see even a glimpse to say that they can worry the Panthers team with that perfect 40 minutes that they put on against the Cowboys?
No, because I think the Cowboys left a lot of points on the field. They just didn't pull the trigger at the right time in the first 10 or 15 minutes. They could have been up 2 tries. They fucking blew it.
Do you not give credit to Cronulla, though, because for holding them out?
I do, but I'm like, it was just really bad execution.
Okay.
From Clifford. Clifford needed to get that ball out a couple more times, quicker out of his hands, drink water, just a few little plays that they wish they could have back. I was like, they should be up 12-0. Bang, bang. Then Cronulla get down there and weather the storm. Because they were off, Cronulla. You can't do that against the Panthers.
Yeah,
you can't come out. You can't come out like that. You get blown off. It could be 18-0. Look what they did the week before.
Or even 6-0 against Panthers is a fucking tough game to come back
just
from.
to try early. It's just like, shit, these guys could hold us out the whole game. You know what I mean? So you can't afford that. Defensively, they're good. They are good. But I just don't think the Cowboys executed well at all. I just think it's going to be hard for them. We'll obviously break that game down on Thursday. That would be hard trying to beat the Panthers.
When you think of Cronulla, right, and it was, like I said, I speak glowingly about Tricky Trindle, but none of their tries were like super grouse shape. Like they don't pull you away with, like it doesn't feel like...
deflections.
Yeah. What they do is they play the power game. I've said this all along. This is why I had my concerns over the Sharks. they do the power game so well that they blow teams off the park, and they blew the Cowboys off the park in the first half. Once they weathered that storm for the first 10, 15.
After the 10, 12 minutes,
Then it just, like, it was similar. I was watching the Gold Coast game. I was like, the way that they just, and this is a credit to them too. This is not like, I'm not saying this in a negative way. When teams get to a lead sometimes and something's working, they start trying to be pretty. Sharks don't try to be pretty.
No.
They know what works for them and they keep going to it, and they've got the blueprint, right? So they play the power game. But yeah, the tries, and I'll get to the did I have it down here? I thought I had it down here. All right. Well, let's talk about the penalty try.
You think it was?
I think for me, I think Braden Trindle was a better chance at getting that try than most people were giving him credit for, because I think his short area quickness is so underrated, right? So he's
got 5 in him.
Pardon?
He's got a good 5 in him.
He's got a 5 to 10 in him, right? And that's all he needed, right? So he puts in that little tricky kick, which he does so well.
Yeah,
he dribbles it across the ground. Now, everyone's saying Dearden would have got there because Dearden gets it on that big bounce when it bounces up and Dearden's in goals. I think Tricky gets to it before it gets to that second bounce, because I reckon he sort of gets, because he would have felt the pressure of Dearden, because this is all hypothetical because Ruben Cotter tackles him and we don't get to see it. I reckon Tricky gets there quicker and dives on it and slides over the line before it gets to that big bounce. That was my...
Because I think when you look at it, like when just before how close he was to the ball, right, before Ruben hit him, and where Dearden was, I think he's got... It's 3 meters, 3 or 4 meters, and I think he gets there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it would have to be a monumental effort for Dearden. Right? I know he would have competed, like, to the end. It would have been have to kick it. I don't know what he would have done. But I think he just, when Dearden's here, I can just get the ball down like that.
With all that being said...
And it had to be a perfect bounce.
With all that being said, I feel like we both agree that probably Trindle was favoured to get there.
But there's still an element of doubt. Like, is that ball going to bounce up into Trindle's fucking in his hands, or does it keep rolling and just? Because there's the grey area, and then I'm like, there's doubt that he's going to get it.
Yeah.
If he was like the ball was there and he's tackled here and he's over there, I'm like, there's still that doubt. And I'm like, that's not a penalty try, and it's a penalty, and you get Ruben off for 10.
Okay, now, with all that being said, we're on the same page with this, right? When I was watching it, and I said it like, that's actually good for the Cowboys. This is a one occasion, I feel like, in a finals game where it's a positive for both teams. Cronulla get the 6 points. They applied scoreboard pressure after being behind, and they kicked the goal, and then they got all this momentum. They go on and they capitalise on it. Cowboys obviously concede the try, but they don't lose their inspirational leader, their alpha, their main guy through the middle. Therefore, when the Sharks go on and go, next set, try, couple minutes later, try, all that shit would have been, I guess, really it would have thrown the Cowboys off for sure. But it would have mentally been even harder if they'd known that they'd have 12 men for 10 minutes while all that was happening. Because they couldn't stop the Sharks 13 on 13.
No.
Imagine if it was 12 and 13. It could have been more.
Yeah, and he does so much work.
He does so much.
Everything.
So I think, I said it, this is not even in hindsight. Like at the moment, I was like, Cowboys would probably be happy with that.
Yeah.
But Sharks are obviously stoked because they get the 6 points as well.
Yeah, and didn't determine the game, right?
No.
Yeah, they still let up a lot of easy tries.
Sharks were still way better in the first half, and they proved it because they still beat them 13-13 and scored 24 points.
How important was that when Drinky tried to go for the long kick and kicked it out?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to Cowboys. Let's start let's talk about the Sharks a little bit. About Sharks?
Yeah, I don't have that much to say about them. They were just gritty and they just fucking just toil, and exactly what I expect from the Sharks.
All right, here's my question for you.
I expected Trindle to do that, and I wanted Nico just to do what he did, get through the game, get more confidence, dig into the line, kick, chase. He's got to work on his defence, otherwise he's going to get exposed this week.
All right, I've got some questions for Nico and Braden together with Fitzy, because I found this quite strange though, because I love the presses and that. So obviously Braden Trindle was outstanding. Nico's performance, we talked about it. Is this the partnership long term for Cronulla? And the next question is, my statement that I found weird was, Fitzy was asked after the game about Trindle's performance, and the first thing he did was divert and go, his halves partner was all right. I thought...
Weird.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Obviously, Nico's coming off a big week, but Trindle deserved praise in that
Fucking
moment.
oath.
And he did
praise.
He did go back and circle back and then give Trindle praise. And I think even the journo goes, yeah, we'll get to Nico, but we just want to give Trindle his. I found that weird. It sort of summed up.
It's weird because Nico didn't deserve any praise.
Well, it summed up the pressure, I believe, that everyone in the club is feeling around Nico throughout the week. So that's my point with that.
Yeah, you're right.
Can Nico and Braden Trindle be a premiership winning? They might not win it this year, but they're only one game away. Can they be a premiership winning halves partnership?
I think
together?
so.
Yeah.
I think so. If they work it out, you got to fit Nico Hines in there, and now I think they're just getting way more confidence into Brendan Trindle, Trindle now. Now Fitzy won't be as worried if Nico's not on. Right?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's almost like they need to put
Nico
confidence
doesn't
back
have
in
to
Nico
have a
now.
9 out of 10 every game.
Yeah.
Because we've got Trindle here. He's doing his work. Like he's earned that now. You know, I think that game there, it's just like, okay, well, if Nico's out or if he's a little bit busted, we got Trindle.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality now because you've got to earn that. And I think he's only been in the game for 2 or 3 years. Baby.
No, Trindle's been around for about five,
What?
6. Yeah.
Who for?
Cronulla. He's been in and out, yeah.
But he's only solidified in the last 2 years, right?
Yeah, since Moylan left.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he forced his way in there and he's earned it. So you can't just be, they got rid of Moylan because of him. Then it took from last year, now this year, now it's like, okay, he's sort of arrived.
So no matter what happens in this game against Penrith, you've got enough confidence in Trindle and Cronulla will going into this preseason, right? You've also got Atkinson there. He's the backup if anything goes sour. Yeah. But you've got Nico and Braden full-time, hitting the ground running. Like best case scenario, they go through this week and it's even a better combination moving forward. But if they do lose this week, you're confident Fitzy's got the right people.
I think they're the guys.
Sprinkling a bit of Adam Fanua-Blake next year.
They'll
an alpha
be way
through the
better.
middle.
Yeah, I think it happens with Brayley. I think Brayley's had his best year. I reckon you'll get him and Nikita's probably going to get close to best and fairest at the award nights there.
Yep, I think
the awards night. But Brayley's he needs his forwards quick play the ball so he moves. He's a bit like Cookie, right? So when Cookie runs, it's all because their middles are obviously moving the ruck and they're getting quick play the balls.
Adam will provide that.
Yeah, Adam will provide that. And
I reckon
you got Rudolph. Rudolph played his best game. I thought he picked his runs better. He was just jamming in behind off a quick play the ball. I think it'll benefit his game as well, Rudolph's game and Kafusi. They'll benefit off Adam Fanua-Blake's quick play the balls.
Yep.
And he'll benefit off their quick play the balls.
You've got Hazleton there as well.
Big Hazleton, you got Hamlin Lueli. So they've got some
Royce
big boys.
Hunt's
And
Tigers.
they play some footy. They've got some footy in them, those big boys at Cronulla.
I thought Nikita again was outstanding. A couple of those big runs in the second half when they were under the pump. He almost put on another couple of points for him. They were so close to scoring a number of tries as well. You mentioned it before, Toby Rudolph. He was the man
good
in the middle. And I thought Ronaldo Mulatalo come up with some huge plays. He's clearly banged up at the moment as well. So, but the biggest play of the game, with all that being said, we got some breaking news, it looks like. No, he's not. He's heading out. The ankle tap from Will Kennedy on Scott Drinkwater.
How good.
So the first one I think was Royce Hunt. So Royce Hunt got burned, checked Drinky a little bit. He had to do the goosey fucking step through it. And then Will Kennedy, I reckon
He had him.
He gets past them. There was some cover defense coming. I think he gets in the corner, yeah.
That was massive.
I thought Will Kennedy was really good in this game too.
He was outstanding.
Because people, at the start of the week, people tossed up Nico moving positions to accommodate Atkinson.
No.
And it would have been at the expense of Will Kennedy. But no, Will Kennedy's, he'd be up there as well. He's had a really good season. Yeah. He's one of those guys that doesn't get his reps.
Three seasons, man. Yeah. He's a good player.
All right.
Well, the Drinky kick out to make it 14 with 15, 16 minutes to go. 3 tries. That's nearly impossible against that
was so deflating.
That was really deflating. I could see that, and I was like, yuck. Imagine if they had that, it was only 1 try difference in the last 7 or 8 minutes when they had the ball. It could be a fucking totally different game.
Oh, for sure.
Different mentally, but 14 points up, you're like, we still got yours. That was big. Why would you try and go for that? You better go to the 10. You've got more chance.
He was half a metre off.
I know.
He was half a metre off. He nearly nailed it.
I know he nearly nailed it. But I'm like,
that's the
fucking
Cowboys.
put it up. I know.
That's the Cowboys.
Fuck, he just went for it. I said, did he really try that when you can actually have a 50-50 if you just put it on the 10, right?
He's going for the 20-80, but if you get the 20, it flips to an 80-20. That's who the Cowboys are.
Crazy bastard.
That's who Drinky is. That's who Jeremiah Nanai is. That's who Tommy didn't. That's who they are, mate.
I know. That was their season right there. That just one attempt. 15 minutes to go.
Fuck, he was so close, mate.
It's not 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
If he gets it, he's the hero.
I know, but
they win.
But you're talking about a 50-50 when you just pop it up. Get all your big boys up there and just tap it back. Like, go for that.
Even if he does do that, they're not necessarily guaranteed to get the ball back. They're still not guaranteed to win.
It was a silly play, mate. I just looked at that and went, why'd you try that for when you've got this rule now, which most teams go for? It's just a 10-metre thing, and everyone just go for it, right? You know the chances of getting it back. It's nearly a 50-50 now.
Well, let's factor this in. Kyle Felt, he was off the field. Viliami Vailea was right winger, and Sam McIntyre was right centre.
Something wrong. What about
Are you stoked to kick the Vailea and McIntyre? If you got the ball in your hand?
No, I still wouldn't go for that.
Jeremiah Nanai was off as well.
I don't know.
Lukey was on the right side.
Just tell Lukey to get on the fucking right side. Yeah. Whatever side he's kicking, just kick it to that big bugger.
What are you saying, Lukey?
Regardless, even if they went through, no Val, no Feld, that's big.
Yeah.
That would have got absolutely
felt sorry for those two.
Fucking Val Holmes, what a tough bugger. He broke his leg on that. He played outstanding. What a way to go. But he broke his leg and he still played.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
Fucking dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Just collapsed on him when you do that.
Jesse Raymond was clearly still a little bit hobbling around, like he's coming off the back of an ankle. Probably he's another player. We talk about we always highlight players that everyone's busted at this time of year.
Yeah.
But Valentine's home was outstanding.
Holmes was that left foot was sharp.
I guess the biggest talking point out of the game, and people were disappointed in this because AFL was on next door, Mace. Sharks are officially the worst travelled team in the NRL. It's official.
They don't cross Tom Ugley's bridge.
I think there was 20,000.
That was a terrible crowd, wasn't it?
So the AFL had 45 or something next door, packed out SCG. So here are some of the reasons, and I'll throw them out there and then we'll chat about it after. You had travel issue from the Shire, 45-minute drive. If you were going to drive.
Peak hour traffic.
Well, it was an 8 o'clock game.
Still, Sydney traffic sucks.
What, at 7 o'clock you got peak hour?
Yep.
No way.
Doesn't stop.
So here we go.
Stop.
Was it a protest because they felt like they deserved their game to be at Shark Park and not at Allianz? There were G-train delays. Do you know the G-train? Have you heard about the G-train?
Paul Gallen.
Yeah, they had a train line specifically for the game, right? And they called it the G-train.
I love it.
It got delayed.
Oh, the G-train was delayed.
They went on strike. So something happened though. So the trains got delayed. They swapped them for the G-bus. They had buses still, transferring people over. There was a whole bunch of congestion at Moore Park. And this is my opinion, I think the Sharkies fans gave up on their team.
That's
not the 15,000 that turned up.
You're fucking crazy, mate.
Hear me out.
That's your team.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Go, mate.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
So the weekend before, they get smacked by the Storm. All this question marks in and around the team, specifically Nico on the finals record. Yeah. And even if they win, they know they've got to pay the Panthers the next week. I think the Sharkies fans gave up on their team. Not the 15,000.
Watching it on TV.
16,000.
Yeah, if I was just Shark supporter and they were playing it in there, and I live in fucking Miranda, Sylvania, Caringbah, in Cronulla, and I'm like, I'm not going all the way into fucking Moore Park on a Friday. I can watch it at the pub, or I'm going to watch it at home.
What do we got there, Lukey? Can you read it out? Can you read out what Lukey's got there, Mace? Yeah, what's the Batuta post? Can you read it out? Oh, he sent it to me. Here, Lucas sent it to me.
Yeah, I don't expect that from Cronulla fans.
Well, I expected it from Manly fans. They look at the way they turned up. So we've changed. We've completely.
How many was on the Saturday night?
packed house.
40?
Nearly capacity, yeah, 40
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad Friday night.
All right, so Lukey sent me.
Looking.
Oh, yeah. I seen this was good. So Batuta Advocate had this one. Sharks and Cowboys battle it out for the chance to be absolutely poleaxed by Penrith.
I reckon you're onto it a little bit. They not saying giving up, but because rugby league is such a beautiful, great sport to watch on TV, you're going to stay.
That's
home
a factor.
and watch TV. It is. It's facts. It's facts. We watch it. We view the most in every sport in Australia because it's the best sport to watch on TV. It fucking sucks going to the game. I would prefer to stay at home and watch it on TV. I don't like going to the games.
Different for you because you've lived it and played it. As a fan, so like I'm talking from a fan's perspective now. I've watched a couple of games.
Prices
are a factor.
Sydney,
Yeah, prices are a
most expensive
factor.
place in the world.
Because
Craig.
Because Allianz have worked really hard on their hospitality. It is expensive, but the food is really good there now. I think Hems has taken over.
Done it. Yeah. Maryvale does it. Yeah, you think that's cheap? No.
Allianz is now my clear-cut number 2 best stadium behind Suncorp to watch a game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Suncorp's still number 1. What do you got for a Suki?
AFL, entry-level ticket, $37. NRL, $60.
See?
Whoa.
$37 to watch the AFL, $67 to watch the NRL.
Okay,
lower the fucking prices. Come on. $20, family of 10.
That's big. That's huge. No, that's a factor.
Something that has to factor in. That's what I'm saying. You watch it on TV because you know the prices are ridiculous to come in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me feel like they just do it on purpose because they know that people are going to watch it on TV. They ain't going to the game, they don't give a fuck. We only care about Origin, Grand Final, we're done. We're done.
I watched my first ever AFL game last year, Sydney Swans versus GWS.
Was it awesome?
It was good. No, it was good. The reason it's better to watch an AFL game at the stadium.
All the stuff off the ball, man.
Mate, you can't see everything on the TV, so they don't go send a wide shot all the time. When you get to see all the players moving off the ball,
that's the difference. Like soccer.
It's like soccer.
Yes, that's how I always say it to people. I said, if you go to an AFL game, all you see on TV is Buddy Franklin catching a ball. Dude ran 150 fucking meters to try and get there and step through about 100 people. And then it lands on his chest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's all these little things midfielders doing this. I respect the game so much. I can't wait to go to the grand final this week.
If you're a neutral,
go the Swans,
and you're watching it on TV,
bandwagon.
Hard.
I'm gonna wear a scarf and everything. Fuck it, beanie, whatever.
Sean, I reckon
Jamie Feeney.
AFL, and I love it as well. It can look a bit sloppy when you watch it on TV if you're just watching the contested ball like in and around. But once you
add a little bit of rain to that ball,
once you're at the stadium and you see how hard everyone works in and around the ball, it gives you more of appreciation. Is my
100%.
So therefore, I don't think you get that in NRL.
In NRL,
you see the action as
you
good as
watch
anything.
it and you see, and it's all on ball. It's just, and you can explain it to people who have never watched the game, and it's so easy. But like I have more fun watching it at home.
Just quickly before we move off this game as well, I thought. Like when the game was going on, it felt like Jeremiah and I got hooked again because they put Lukey over the right, brought Kuli Kefu, Fene Fuiaki on, and they put Sam McIntyre out in the centres. I would have given Nano a crack.
The system went all right, didn't he?
Who?
The McIntyre system. The old system.
He does go all right.
He went all right.
He's had a good season.
He's had a really good. Yeah, that threw him off. The system.
I would have, because I reckon with about 15 minutes to go when Cowboys were coming home strong, Val Holmes was dominating.
Yeah.
Once Val Holmes got injured on that try, it deflated them. They didn't have any options because, respectfully to McIntyre's system and Viliami Valeo, who was playing okay, Kale Iro and Mulatalo would have been looking up that whole time on that short side going, send the numbers. We're good.
Yeah.
Like McIntyre's a good solid middle and swingman.
He's a back rower.
Whereas if you have Jeremiah Nanai on a short side, 3-on-3 with Lukey, Highland Lukey.
He played outstanding.
I think that's a different proposition.
A few injuries, man. When Felt and Holmes within 10 minutes were off, that it deflated them. They're like, how? Even if they're probably thinking ahead to go, even if we win this game, how are we going to get fucking Penrith next week?
Yeah.
Going to get pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the same as the Cronulla Sharks fans. Before we move on to the next game, Sharks fans, and I want to highlight this as well. We got Sharks fans that know I say a lot of shit tongue in cheek. You diehard fans, I know there are 15,000 that turned up to the game. All right?
I love you. Yeah.
You supported your team. This is not a crack at you.
I'm blaming North Queensland.
The bandwagon fans. Remember we talked about the WARs and how good of a job they've done with creating a culture now where there's like, whether the Warriors went good last year or bad this year, they've created a culture now. Manly, they would have gone into that game going, it's going to be hard to beat the Roosters at Allianz.
But there's a chance.
10 years ago, they never would have turned up like that. They've changed the perception. Manly are doing a great job. I reckon Hello Sport's a big part of that too, by the way. That's a whole different topic. But like the 13-plus shit that they've is turned Manly into a fun team to support, and they turned up for their fans. So let's get to that game. The Sydney Roosters defeat the Manly Seagulls 40-16. JWH, he set the tone. We said it was not going to be the same start as last week because he is backed. Has he knocked out the most defenders off the kickoff ever?
Yes. Yes.
Moses Sully, start of the year. I'm trying to think of some other players.
And that's just this year.
Yeah.
That's just this year. Don't even have a look at his whole career.
I'll write this down. We already talked
Him and
about it.
Ogre.
Really,
Ogre's done that a few times. Yeah. Ogre's at least 10.
Yeah.
Out cold.
And
that's what Hargraves does as well. He just sets the tone, man. And that's what I'm saying. There's a difference in when he's on that field.
Yeah.
They just grow. Like, they feel safe.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They feel safe. The other forwards feel safe. Lindsay Collins had probably his best game.
I've got written down
Spencer
here.
come off. Terrell May played like a boss.
Yeah.
Right? He ran hard. I reckon he played probably one of his best games. I reckon he went on these nice little offloads and just created havoc.
He's silky for a big guy.
Yeah, he's got some good skills.
I thought Teddy was the best on the field, but the two that stood out for me, you named one of them, Lindsay, and the job that Angus Crichton did on Hamoli Olakau'atu, who was fucking...
And he was a beast.
Hamoli was the one. If anything was going to happen in that game, they were creating everything around Hamoli.
And I reckon...
And how the fuck did Angus hold on to him when he dropped those bumper bars into him?
You seen fucking Angus? What that man's built like?
Yeah.
He ain't fucking small, bro. But
I know.
His whole game would have been going, I've got to stop him.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about in my attack. I just need to stop 11.
Agreed.
I need to stop 11. Don't care if I get the ball. This is end up playing great football anyway with the ball.
Yep.
But I need to stop 11.
Yep. I think that was his mindset for sure.
And he did.
Protect Luke Keary.
Yeah, protect Keary and just stop. Just limit. He's going to get a couple of good players away, but just limit it. Can't let him run rough shot because he gets confidence and they build off that. Just didn't let him have any momentum.
It didn't save a try, but I reckon the biggest play of the game, one of my highlight moments of the game, Ches gets a bit of second phase play, gets across, squares up into Luke Keary, drops the ball under Hamoli Olakau'atu. There's a fucking huge gap there. It gets shut so quickly. Angus Crichton goes to fucking chop Hamoli. Hamoli sees him, drops the bumpers.
Proper.
And Angus Crichton untied his shoelace. I don't know how he brought it down.
I don't know how he did that. I don't know how. Like, because he just...
No one else brings him down. No one else
fell
brings
over
him
his own
down.
Shoes.
One-on-one. That was unbelievable. When I thought he was huge.
Yeah, Gus was outstanding.
For a number of the things you said, he went in with the mindset, fuck it. Like, I've scored tries before. I've got mad offloads, tries. It's not about that.
No, I got to stop him.
He took the Hamoli challenge personally, in my opinion. Sandon Smith,
still the best out there.
He was clearly targeted again in this game, but this week he was able to counter back. He had a really big moment, obviously, with the try. Is this the confidence boost that he needed going down to Melbourne? Can this alleviate a bit of pressure that was associated with him going into this game?
For sure. Just that try. Did you see the adulation on his face and how pumped he was before he even put the ball down? I'm like, put it down, son. Put it down. He's fucking cheering and everything like that. What a great moment for the kid. You know, he copped a shitload during the week, man.
Yep.
And pressure like that. And then to come out the other end with a great win and him playing good, pivotal try, set up a couple of things, kicked good, made his tackles, didn't do anything wrong. scored a great try. Fucking outstanding game.
If Nico Hines wasn't playing this weekend, there would have been even more pressure on Sandon Smith because he's a huge club. It's Sam Walker. He's taken over from Sam Walker. I thought he had a really good game.
Connor Watson was good.
Connor Watson was really good.
His running game was outstanding. He fucking split him, man.
So Lukey wrote in the group, I don't know if you've seen this one, he goes, Turbo's shoulders clearly busted because Sandon Smith just dusted him. Agreed. Turbo's shoulders no good.
Oh, of course
I'm giving Sandon some credit here.
Yeah, man. He get him with a bomb with the right foot. I don't think Turbo's getting him at 100.
Yeah.
That was a great move.
Yeah, it was a fucking nice
He had him
move.
slipping and like Turbo's coming from the other way. All his body language is going that way. It was just a great play. You're not going to take Turbo onto the corner.
Well, see, that's what he made Turbo think for a very
and then he just goes, boom.
and then went,
he can play.
Hit him with the right.
There's no doubt that he can play. He's never been in the clear lap before. Boom, boom, hit him with the right foot. Turbo wasn't going to get him even if he was 100%. I think Connor Watson was great. Lindsay Collins, their forward pack set the tone with J-Dub, and then they just went on from there. That's a juggernaut that's hard to stop. And the only team that can stop them is their fucking Melbourne Storm.
And the Penrith Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're playing them this week. That's what I'm saying. That.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
Those two teams are the ones that as I said, if they can get into a grand final, then we can say, what are we going to deal with? And I backed them into a grand final. And I'm like, and I'll give you my prediction on Thursday, but
okay.
I fucking have to.
I'll ask you a question. The first thing I thought after the game, they booked their sorry, mate. They've booked their spot into the grand final. In a preliminary final to go into the grand final. Now they have to beat the two teams that they've been able to beat. What would this say about Robbo's legacy?
If they've gotten to a grand final, if they didn't.
So let's just say he loses this game. Do you think so? So I'll give you the three scenarios. He wins this game but loses to Penrith in the grand final. He loses this game, and again, now that hoodoo continues all the way into 2026. But what if he wins both games and completely flips the script?
Oh,
start off with,
mate,
they lose this game.
Just changes everything.
Is there any sort of pressure under Robbo if he doesn't win this game? A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Because that roster that he's got should go close.
It is a good roster.
Yeah. Like I know Sam Walker. I know Sam Walker and Brandon Smith's a big loss, but Connor Watson's then the guys that fill the spots they're not scrubs.
No.
They're pretty good players.
Probably
I think I think the other players are playing at such a high level as well. Like, they should be able to get into they should beat the Storm, I reckon. I just think they can. But they've never proved me right at all with that. So it's killing me. But I just look at it. I just look at it and go, yeah, you should be able to beat them.
Scenario 2.
They just don't.
If they beat the Melbourne Storm but lose to the Penrith Panthers, is that a pass mark for Robbo getting to the final?
Because you're going against the greatest team of all time.
For the Roosters, are they going to be happy with that?
Yeah, no.
Their slogan is they win champions.
Yeah, expect to win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to suck because maybe, you're going to go down to Melbourne and get, no one's going to back the Roosters.
If they beat both teams, is he in the GOAT conversation?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think he's probably on Mount Rushmore for a lot of people.
He's up there. Yeah, but this, like to do this especially with Sam Walker and Brandon Smith down, and to get these other guys up and go down to Melbourne, beat those guys, go into Penrith and beat those guys. Because I reckon they're a chance to beat Penrith. This is the hardest game, the Melbourne game.
They're both going to be hard, yeah.
I just think Melbourne's got the fucking mental wood on them, big time.
Yeah, they both do.
Was it 20 out of 21?
They've something ridiculous. They've only beat Melbourne once in the last 5 years, and they haven't beat Penrith at all in the last 5 years.
Do you think about that at all? If
you have to,
exactly. Like
it wouldn't be talking.
Can we beat them? Like if I was playing, there was never a team that I could not beat in 5 years.
No,
never.
No.
Like, oh fuck! Imagine that for 5 years. That one team. You'd beat them in the fucking. You'd usually go 1 for 1 during the year.
You had about 3 or 4 teams that were really good during your period, like you guys, the Roosters, Penrith,
Warriors were good.
Storm were ascending.
Storm was really good.
Warriors
Brisbane
were playing
was good. Newcastle was really good.
Yeah,
but you'd always get one on them. It was never like you get done for 5 years.
Yeah. Huge.
It's huge when you think about that.
Huge game coming up.
Because all pretty much the same. Oh,
I got one for you, and this was from Adam Foster because I'd written down in my notes. Oh yeah, this is sorry. I'm reading my first.
Yeah,
bit. So I wrote this down. I got confused because I thought it was part of the Roosters breakdown. It was the worst possible start for Manly. Don't know how they let Jakey back on the field, by the way. And there's no way he was knocked out, and you could see it. I don't know how they did it. So the refereeing and HIO rules clearly change come finals time. That's not even a debate. The game, the way the game was officiated by Ash, who refused to blow the penalty, which is fine. I didn't hate it on Friday night, but he never adjudicates the game like that during the season.
I don't understand.
He's always involved. So do we like that he changes the way he referees the game, and therefore the doctors? If this was a regular season game, does Jakey come back out on the field?
I reckon Jakey was all right. He got rattled, but nowhere near Kohler. I think Kohler was dead set out.
Yeah, agreed.
And Jakey was just like, he just got rattled. Like he got banged.
Ooh, I don't know, man. You know what?
More chesty sort
of. We talked about this coming in. Connor would love to have this moment back. It was out of character for him. Connor knew straight away.
Do you reckon?
Seen it, pointed to him on the ground, as in he's rattled, and then pushed him over, and then quickly realised what he'd done and picked him back up. I seen it straight away in the contact. I've gone, as soon as I seen that contact, I've gone, fuck, Jakey's gone too. Oh, no, sorry. My first thought was, who was that? Because I couldn't make out who it was because there was more. Because Jakey had two guys over the top, it had actually stopped Jakey from completely falling off. But this one came from Adam Foster off the back of it. I think it's worth chatting about the difference in refereeing during the season versus finals. I understand the appeal of letting it flow and Origin, but does anyone else find themselves expecting a penalty or sin bin in line with the way that we watched the 27 rounds, only to be left wondering what's going on? I feel like I learned a lot what to expect all year, and then when I'm watching a finals game, it's a different game when it matters most. Grant Atkins... So he's talking about Grant Atkins in this series. He's changing it. But Grant Atkins wasn't the example for me. It was Ashley Klein. I feel like Grant Atkins penalised a fair bit in that game, and Manly were on the back end of it. But I thought Ashley Klein completely put the whistle away.
And you know what people don't like is like inconsistency, right? And that's what he was such a wanker all year, right? Like with the whistle, like blowing the whistle for this, that, and like not letting the game flow. And he just lets this game flow and I had no complaints about it, right?
Do you so? Let's.
But I'm like, so, but like, obviously you're getting told before the finals and Origins, let the game go. You're getting told this.
Here's a factor for you too to consider. I reckon once it gets to Origin and finals time, the players are a bit to blame in this as well. I don't think because it's a bigger stage and there's more people watching, you see less of that fake an injury and hit.
Yeah, I think so too. The players are on. They're switched on. They're not doing all dumb shit to get penalised because they know the ramifications could be huge, right? They don't want to get sent off for 10, because you could cost your team 8 to 10 points, right? That's the average.
Or the HIA.
Yeah,
like if
everything
you
like
to be
that.
And you go off HIA, that'll cost your team.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of them.
So players are a big part of it.
Players are a big part. And I just thought he let the game go. He just reffed it how it should have been reffed. But then I get it from the comment there, like you are watching the game week in, week out, going, look at all these rules.
Yeah.
Like, you see Klein like a couple of weeks ago going, ruining a game. And you're like, why don't you just ref like this every game? They just don't.
And obviously there's more like safety concerns because I guess because this level of physicality, you couldn't see players get knocked out like this, like we seen in that Origin game that time. That was probably the most reminiscent example that I can think of.
This one in a club game, man. It was 2 hit-ups, bang, bang.
All right, let's get down and breaking down Manly ever so slightly. I was so confused. I know it was a chaotic start, but when Manly at the start, they were in there for a good arm wrestle for a little bit. The Radley try really broke them. But I was so confused. Manly just didn't spend the entire first 5 minutes running at Radley.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's tough as nails.
No, just get at him.
He made a few tackles, right, earlier. I went back and rewatched it as well. He got in there.
He tackled him. He wasn't hitting him.
Yeah.
He was just, like, managing the tackle.
If, like, for the first 12 tackles of the game, so 6 tackles or whatever, I would have even ran it on the last. That's how much I would have wanted to get at him. I would have set Tanyela Paseka straight at Nella. I would have got a drop-off play from one of the halves
Everything.
to run straight back
Everything.
at Radley again, and then I would have dropped Olakuatu straight back at him. They clearly had a plan to get to Sandon Smith, and they created some quick play the balls early on.
You got to get it Radley,
But they had to get it Radley and test that shoulder, didn't
I
they?
didn't understand that. I did not understand that. That would have been my game plan. Test Radley out and just get at him, get at him, get at him.
Nothing illegally.
No, just run it. Make him make tackles.
He's fair game if he's on
he
the
has
field.
a fractured scapula.
Yeah.
Right? He's on the field, so like you got turbos on the field. Everyone's needling up at that part of the year.
Yep.
Like, but you need to get at him. You need to see if he's ready to play. Like you don't let him just sit on an edge there with an injury and then just sort of get at him every now and again, and not full on at him either.
No.
Change angles at him, everything like that. If your left side back, was it Lawton back row?
The Lawton was left back row.
Yeah.
But Radley played in the middle. Tupanua played right.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, and
even
they still
worse then.
Yeah, and they didn't get him because they were trying to attack Sandon Smith the whole time.
No, you had to get it Radley. You had to drop off. You had to do everything. Like, you just get him at marker, try and expose him, like just different moves. Try and get him. If you're going to go through the middle, like get at him 3 times.
Yeah.
Leave him at marker, drop another person off, Paseka off, all that kind of stuff. Like, it was weird, man. Even like just say when Teddy scored that try, right? I set up that try. It was just simple overs, man. Like defensively, like what were they thinking? Manly.
Yeah.
Nathan Brown was there, got exposed. He just he was on there for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
You expect a little bit more from that. You don't.
Remember my concerns the week before around overplaying your hand, and Tommy Talau's to blame in the first bit. Brooksy goes down the short side. Fuck, man, if Brooksy had just used his running game, he might have gone through there. He throws that cut out. Tommy Talau misses the jump. That's understandable in a way because Tolu Kola was supposed to be the centre there and Ben Travojevic, right? And then Nathan Brown comes on. What do I say? The problem with Manly is when they get put under the pump, and credit to Roosters, they go sideways. Nathan Brown goes running across sideways, tries to do a shitty tip on to Carlos Lawton. Carl Lawton drops it, and then I think the next set they go over Radley. When the game was in a pretty decent arm wrestle there for a little bit as well.
But just
got like the week
defensively,
before, take your licks.
But defensively, like you can't turn in or like where are your eyes? Like Victor Radley is always going to run into that hole. You're never turning into like to Teddy. You had the A and B. They got him. You stay on Radley. I don't know. It's just simple defensive systems.
They missed the jump, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they were blown off the park, similar to what the Sharks did, but even more dramatic fashion because Manly really never looked like getting back on it. I asked you about the long-term option for the Sharks. I'm going to ask you the same question. Have you seen enough from Brooks in the first season to think that he can be the successor of Daly Cher Evans moving forward when Ches eventually has to hang it up soon?
Yeah, I think so. Jeez, he's played over 200 games. He's a veteran in the game now, so I think he could easily play 7 there.
Can they win a comp next year with those two, 7 and 6?
Yeah.
Fully fit Turbo?
Fully fit Turbo. I think they need one more middle.
Yeah.
One more middle would be good.
Agreed.
But they could. They're dangerous, man. They just played. They got rattled in that first set. They never got back. Cola's a big part of their system there. And then they had to like move players that had never been playing there before and just other guys playing bigger minutes, Brown coming on, playing bigger minutes. Like that, it ruined everything.
Yeah. They've got a couple
Jakey coming off. Like it's just...
They pay so much money to Ches, Jakey and Tom, and then even Hamoli's on good coin now too, that they've got to make really smart decisions around the rest of the squad. Not every team's going to get a stacked lineup all the way through.
No.
But who's a player, and I've said it for ages, I've looked at a couple of players that are on the market. I really think a guy who's not playing in this game, and that was because of injury, but he also wasn't making the team. I reckon Egan Butcher is a player. Like we need a bit more of a tradesman. Like he's got a bit of skill in him. He's got a 5'8" background.
I like Egan Butcher.
And
he's been
Egan
good
Butcher,
for years.
Yeah, he won't play.
He didn't play. Did he not play on the weekend?
No, so he did his ACL about halfway through the year.
Oh, Egan. Sorry.
Egan.
Nat Butcher. No,
So
I like Egan Butcher.
So Egan's currently behind Nat and Victor Radley and a number of other options in the back row. And I think he has got an extra year left at the Roosters.
For him to play first grade and to reach his potential, he needs to change clubs.
Yeah, I think so. And even
Whether
if it's not Manly.
go to South or something like that, he'd be a really good pickup for anyone because he's behind a fair few. But I mean, Satili Tupanil's with us next year.
Yep. So there's a spot. So you think Siwa Wong's
still there? Like he's just going to have to compete.
Yeah. Or go find a spot where you can be the dude. Like I reckon he could come in.
Starting back row.
He could come in and play lock for Manly straight away, move Jakey to the front row, start with big Taniela Paseka, and then you've got a number of other guys who can come off the bench from.
Yeah.
But they just need someone else through. They need a toiler through the middle, like a toiler with skill.
Yeah, Jakey's,
Slowing down now.
yeah, he's slowing down.
And he was slow to begin with.
Even when
respectfully.
Sandon Smith was, when he went through, like he was on the inside there.
Yeah.
He can't get caught out in those little, he's great in the middle, does everything great, but when you get out a little bit, you start caught on that island there.
Yeah. You know what they did a really good job of? They hammered Ches so much too. Like Ches was coming up those really big tackles on Angus Crichton. They fatigued the shit out of Ches. Ches got stuck on the left, and that's where they shifted back and went at Ches when he was fucking tired.
Smart.
Yeah, really good. And that's who Sandon dusted first.
Yeah. Yep.
So credit to the Roosters. They're on to the next big game. The two teams, I guess, that I am deemed to be the haters of the most, they go through